Having gone through a lot, it's now time to start building our home page. To get started, let's go to our toolbox. Let's go ahead and pin it. Since most of the tools we are going to be using in our project is going to come from the toolbox. Now let's go to Advanced. Under Advanced, let's click on Carousel. Draw on an empty space in the canvas. Now let's talk about the carousel. Carousel simply means slider. And to show you what I mean, let me open my browser. This over here is a slider or a carousel. When I click on it, the image slides and moves around. That's very nice to have in our website. Let's go ahead to our project and see some of the properties in the carousel. Just double click in the carousel and it gives you some properties. The first on the list is general. And under general, we have the slides. So this is the number of slides you'll be using in your project. You can add more slides and you can simply remove them. To add, you just hit on the add button and it adds another slide to it. To remove, you just select the slide you want to remove, hit on the remove and it removes it. To edit, you just select the slide you want to, just hit on the edit, then it gives you the properties or the options you may want to be using. In our case, we are going to stick to 3 slides. So I'll go ahead and delete the 4th slide. Now let's go to the first slide and hit on edit. When you hit on edit, we have style. Under style, we have background and background mode. When you click on the drop down arrow, we have transparent, solid, image, gradient, multicolor gradient, pattern, texture. In our case, we are going to use image. I'll click on image and go to the browse icon over here. Click on it and select the image I may want to be using in my project. I'll go ahead and scroll down and select the image I want to use. In this case, I'm going to use this image as my first image of the slider. I'll go ahead and click on open. And here I have to set the properties of the image. Repeat, I don't want this to repeat. The size, I want it to be cover. Horizontal, I want it to be center. Vertical, I would want that to be center as well. I'll go ahead and click on OK. I'll do same for slide number 2. I'll hit on edit. Click on the drop down arrow, select image. I'll go ahead and select the image I may want to be using for that particular slide. In this case, I'm going to choose this image. I'll go ahead and click on open. And I repeat, I'll select do not repeat. The size, I would choose cover. Horizontal, center. Vertical, center. I'll go ahead and click on OK and do it for the last slider as well. I'll hit on edit, drop down arrow, select image and select the image I may want to be using. In this case, I'm going to select an image from here. Let me scroll down and see the image I may want to use. This is the image I would want to use. I'll go ahead and click on open. I'll select repeat, do not repeat. Size should be cover. Horizontal should be center. And vertical should also be center. I'll go ahead and click on OK. Now it looks like I have added the images I may want to use in this project in the slider. I'll go ahead and go to options. Under options, we have animation. So the way you want your slider to move. When you click on the drop down arrow, we have a whole range of animations here. In this case, I'm going to select forward circular. You can go ahead and play with the rest you have here. So I'll select forward circular. Under the pause time, I'm going to make this 8000. And under full width, I'll leave it at none. Under easing, I'll click on the drop down arrow and select J-swing. Duration is going to be 500. I'll go ahead to style. There's nothing to apply here. Event, there's nothing to apply here. I'll then go ahead and click on OK. Now my slider has been added. To test that, let's just hit on F5 on our keyboard to see whether it is, well, it's actually added. So let's go ahead and resize the size of our carousel. To do so, let's click on the carousel and go to the property inspector. In our case, we are going to change this to 650 pixels by 500 pixels. I'll hit on OK, and this becomes a little bit larger than what we saw previously. What I'm going to do next is to add a layer. I'll click on layer under advanced, draw on an empty space in the canvas, double click in it to get the properties. Under general, I'll select center under alignment. I'll go to styles, and under border, I'll make sure I take away the border. Click on the drop down arrow and select none. Change the width to 0. Now under the color, I'm going to select this black color. And you may wonder, how did I get this particular black color? When you click on this, this is a very deep black color, and I don't prefer using this deep black color. I added my color I want to be using in the project. And to do so, click on the color, the drop down arrow, go to more colors. Go ahead and paste the color code that I'm going to provide you here. In our case, when we click on the drop down arrow, the color code we'll be using is going to be #202020. So that's the particular color code we'll be using for this particular black. Click on OK. Go ahead and click on OK. Now let's resize this layer 2. Click on the property inspector. In this case, we are going to use 300 pixels by 320 pixels. Hit on enter and move it 4 steps away from the carousel using the arrow key, the right arrow key. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add 2 more. 5, 6, making it 6. Let's go ahead and duplicate this layer 2. You select it, right click on it and select copy. Let's go ahead and paste it, either using Ctrl V or right clicking on an empty space and selecting paste. I'll drag it down a little bit, and I'm going to change this one size. The size is going to be 650 pixels by 50 pixels. I'll hit on enter and drag it here. I'll make sure I move it 5 steps away from the carousel using the down arrow key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me go ahead and add the last one, making it 6. Now let me select this, right click on it, copy it, right click and paste it here. Now let me drag it a little bit here and change the size of it. In this case, this is going to be 300 by 400 pixels. Using the property inspector, let's add that 300 by 400 pixel. Hit on enter. Let me move it a little bit here and move it down 6 pixels away from the top one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 using the down arrow keys. I'll go ahead, select this, copy it, right click, selecting copy, right click, pasting it here. I'll move it away from there. I'll move it a little bit away from this layer, 6 pixels down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll go ahead and change the size of it. In this case, it's going to be 320 pixels by 300 pixels. Go ahead and add that. I'll therefore copy this using Ctrl C and paste it here, Ctrl V. I'll move it a little bit up, and as you can see, when moving it, the guides are helping me to align it to a correct position. So this is where exactly I want to be having it. I'll go ahead and copy this for the last time and paste it here. In this case, I'm going to change the size from 320 by 300 pixels to 300 by 150 pixels. I'll hit on enter and move it a little bit to the top. It looks like there's some spacing here. I may want to correct that. I'll move this a little bit away from the top layer, 6 pixels down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll therefore go ahead and resize it, since the 150 pixel is a little bit bigger than what we need. In this case, it's 300 pixels by 130 pixels. To know that, select the object, click on the property inspector, and here we go, 300 pixels by 130 pixels. Let's go ahead and change the background of this layer to an image. Double click on it, go to style, under style, click on the drop down arrow under background, select image. Now use the browse icon here to select the image we will be using. I'll click here and look for the image I may want to use. So I'm going to use this image, hit on open, under repeat, select do not repeat, under size, select cover, under horizontal, select center, under vertical, select center as well. Click on OK. We are going to do the same for this particular layer as well. Under style, background mode, select image, click on the browse icon here to select the image you'd want to be using. I'll scroll down and I'm going to use this image. I'll click on open, click on the drop down arrow under repeat, select do not repeat, size should be cover, horizontal should be center, vertical should be center as well. Now click on OK. We are going to repeat the step once more. We will go ahead and change this layer to an image. Click on the drop down arrow under mode, select image. Click on the browse icon, and in this case we are going to use this image. Click on open. Under repeat, select do not repeat. Under size, select cover. Under horizontal, select center. Under vertical, select center as well. Now click on OK. It looks like our home page is beginning to take shape. Let's go ahead and preview it. Before we preview, let's go to the master page. To prevent some errors, let's go ahead and change the object ID here. So click on the object, that is the header layer I have here. Go to Property Inspector. In this case, we are going to change this to header. Let's click on the footer layer as well and just change that to footer. Let's go ahead and select this and change this to content placeholder. You realize in this case I'm using a hyphen. I either use a hyphen or an underscore. Go ahead and select the navigation object and let's change this to nav. Let's change this text in the footer layer to copyright text. Let's go ahead and change this image to logo. Let's go to the index layer back and hit on F5. Let's scroll down. It looks good. Our index page is beginning to take form. Now let's make sure to position all the objects into the center of the page. To achieve that, use Ctrl+A to highlight all the objects. Now move your cursor onto any of the objects. I'm going to move my cursor onto the carousel and I'll click on it, holding it, move it a little bit right, and the guide in the center is telling me that it's rightly in the center as I wanted it to do. So that is how to position all the objects in the middle of the page. Let's go ahead and continue to build the rest of the pages.